Good evening, you're watching Brass Tacks. I'm Zakir Jacob. The AQI in Delhi and in the entire national capital is over 400, more than 450 in most places. GRAP 4 is in effect across the NCR. This should be the most important issue facing the nation and facing our parliament. But instead of talking about this issue and finding solutions for the people of this country, our leaders are busy doing this. This is what happened in parliament today inside the Lok Sabha. These are visuals where our netas can be seen rushing to the well of the House, tearing and throwing copies of the new GRamGBill. Now, you can see there opposition netas at the floor of the House tearing up and throwing the copies of that bill at the minister, Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan, even as he was speaking on that bill. On the right is how Delhi looked this morning. These are pictures of most parts of Delhi, most parts of the national capital early this morning, where the AQI in most places was above 500. It got slightly better through the day. The question is, why is this issue not being debated in Parliament? Parliament is met for the last 19 days. Tomorrow is the last day of Parliament. They're saying that there is a scheduled debate tomorrow, but for 19 days, they did not find time to discuss this issue which singularly concerns every single citizen of our nation's capital, found zero time in our parliament, in our nation's parliament, where our parliamentarians were busy doing this. So the question you need to ask yourself, viewers, your voters, take a stand. If you have no discussion on AQI, no vote. No AQI discussion, no vote. Take a stand tonight with us here on CNN News 18. But I want to first bring you up to speed with what has been happening in Parliament instead of discussing this most important issue. In a rather unique show of unity as it was in Parliament, it was poised to hold a debate on the pollution crisis. This was under Rule 193. It allows for short duration discussions on urgent public matters. I can't think of anything more urgent than the pollution story. Congress MP Priyanka Gandhi Vadra was supposed to speak. DMK MP Kanimuri was supposed to speak. BJP MP Basuri Swaraj was also scheduled to speak. They were all speakers. Even the names of the speakers was listed. But that debate, which was scheduled to happen at 2 o'clock today, a little after 1 p.m., the House got adjourned for the day. So they didn't have to have that discussion around pollution. And tomorrow, like I said, is the last day of Parliament. Mostly on Fridays, it's private members' bills. But on the last day, for 3 weeks, they found no time or energy or inclination or space to discuss the most pressing issue of the public in India's parliament. And now they've kicked that can down to the last day. Whether or not that debate happens, we'll wait and see. But the political showdown has been around this rebranding of Manrega. It dominated 3 proceedings of the House. There were unruly scenes that played out. Opposition MPs storming the well and disrupting the proceedings. Some even tearing up the bill and flinging the copies at the face of the Union Minister for Agriculture, Mr. Shivraj Singh Chauhan. Do our netas even care about what is going on and what really matters to the people of this country? By the way, they found time for some side issues to be discussed in these last 3 weeks. There was a massive discussion, spent over 8 to 10 hours discussing the 150th anniversary of Vande Mataram, the national song. That was a discussion that was held in the Lok Sabha. 60 MPs participated in it. 60 MPs. 11 and a half hours of time was spent on that discussion. Then came the discussion on election reforms. Admittedly, an important issue, an issue that concerns everyday voters and everyday people. No doubt about it. Again, an issue that had stalled Parliament for the first few days because the opposition would not relent. The government finally said, okay, we will discuss electoral reforms, we will discuss SIR. Time was allocated, 13 hours. 13 hours was spent discussing SIR. 59 MPs took part. Why couldn't they find 1 minute, 1 hour, 2 hours to discuss the most pressing issue facing the national capital? That is the pollution crisis. We spoke to some MPs as they were coming out from Parliament and asked them, what is going on? Do you not care? Why should the voters vote for you if you're not going to take up issues that matter to them? Listen in to what they had to say.
कहीं ना कहीं जो रिस्पांसिबिलिटी सरकार की है, जहां पे हमें सरकार को काम करना चाहिए कि प्रदूषण को कैसे कम किया जाए एनसीआर दिल्ली में, तो मैं समझती हूँ कहीं ना कहीं सरकार दिखी भागती हुई इस महत्वपूर्ण मुद्दे पर चर्चा करने के लिए।
आज पंजाब की पोल्यूशन इतनी बुरी नहीं है जितनी दिल्ली की है। लगातार कई सालों से पंजाब के किसानों को बदनाम करके कि ये पराली जलाते हैं, इस करके धुआं इधर आता है। तो क्लियरली ये अपनी जिम्मेवारियों से भागने के लिए ये सरकार ने पंजाब के किसानों को बदनाम किया।
इन लोगों ने दोनों ने मिलकर दिल्ली, पूरे प्रदेश को और खासतौर से दिल्ली को जीना मुश्किल कर दिया है, आम आदमी का सांस लेना मुश्किल कर दिया है। और अगर कोई जिम्मेदार है इसके लिए तो पूरी तरीके से केंद्र और प्रदेश की भारतीय जनता पार्टी सरकार।
अब प्रदूषण पर राहत भी चाहिए और आप जो कदम उठाएंगे उस पर सवाल भी खड़े करेंगे। दोनों चीजें एक साथ नहीं चला करती। साफ स्पष्ट है कि विपक्ष केवल और केवल इस पर राजनीति कर रहा है। विपक्ष को प्रदूषण मुक्त होना बर्दाश्त नहीं, क्योंकि प्रदूषण यदि समाप्त हो गया तो विपक्ष का मुद्दा उनके हाथ से निकल जाएगा।
अब जब से फरवरी में भाजपा की सरकार आई है, सरकार ने आते ही मुख्यमंत्री जी ने वाटर स्प्रिंकलर्स, एमआरएस, रोड के ऊपर वाटर स्प्रिंकलर्स को डिप्लॉय करना, ये सब काम किए हैं। लेकिन फिर भी ये उपाय संतुष्टिजनक नहीं है। इसके ऊपर एक साइंटिफिक स्टडी होकर वो साइंटिफिक जो कारण आएंगे उनको दूर करने के लिए पर्टिकुलर कदम उठाए जाने चाहिए। दिल्ली सरकार और केंद्र सरकार इसको लेकर बहुत सचेत है और इस पर काम हो रहा है।
And just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, listen to this. The Minister of State in the Ministry of Environment, Mr. Kirtivardan Singh, today in a written reply in Parliament has said, and hold your breath for this, air pollution is only one of the triggering factors for respiratory ailments and associated diseases, but there is no conclusive data that establishes a direct correlation between higher AQI and lung disease. No conclusive data available to establish a direct correlation of deaths exclusively by air pollution, when there are a number of studies, any number of studies that show that, including Lancet, which is the world's most respected journal. But who's to tell the Honorable Mantri ji that? But let me go across to our political editor, Aman Sharma, who's joining us. Aman, is there any context, basis to what the minister is saying, that there is no link between deaths and rising AQI?
Well, interestingly, Zaka, there were two questions asked to the Minister of State for Environment, Kirtivardan Singh, and one question was by a BJP MP, Lakshmikant Bajpai, and the other question is by a Congress MP, Randeep Surjewala. And what they asked is that what is the relation of the rising pollution in the capital with lung diseases, and one MP asked what is the relation with death. So in both these answers, the government is clearly denying any connection between rising AQI with either lung diseases or with death. So I'll read out the first answer to you, where the minister says air pollution is one of the triggering factors for respiratory ailments and associated diseases. There is no conclusive data which establishes a direct correlation between higher AQI levels and lung diseases. So the government is saying there isn't even any data to show that lung disease is caused by higher AQI. And the second answer, he's going further and saying that air pollution is one of the triggering factors for respiratory ailments, but there is no data to show it is leading to any deaths. And this, Zaka, flies in the face of what we have heard from Lancet. Just, very recently, in fact, last week when the data came out of Lancet and they put out a report, they clearly said that 15 lakh deaths are linked to pollution in India. This is the biggest medical journal, the most reputed medical journal, saying about the air pollution situation in India. It is also said that PM 2.5 is linked to multiple health issues. There is a nationwide impact, not just in the urban areas, and Lancet even said the exposure raises heart, lung and premature death risk. So the Lancet is saying it's causing lung diseases, it is causing premature death, but the government remains in denial and says there is no data to establish this. And that is why I think Zaka is very much evident in the way the pollution issue is being fought in the national capital right now.
All right, we'll leave it at that, Aman. Thank you very much. It's like he said, it flies in the face of every available scientific study that there is to show that there is a direct connection between rising AQI and lung disease and deaths caused because of lung disease. In fact, let's do that. Let's look at the claim made by the minister and what the reality is from reputed scientific or medical journals and studies. The minister claims, and he has said this in a written reply in Parliament, so it's part of parliamentary records now, no conclusive data linking deaths to air pollution. Lancet put out a study. It is the most reputed medical journal in the world, and nobody doubts that. Lancet put a study saying 17 lakh deaths in the year 2022 were linked directly to pollution in India. That's not speculation. That is science that is reviewed by doctors, by pulmonologists, by scientists. That is hard data-driven science. That's Lancet for you. Then the minister also says in his written reply, no data correlating higher AQI with lung diseases. Now, the Lancet study confirms that pollution exposure raises the risk of heart disease, lung disease, and premature death. In fact, every 10 microgram increase in AQI results in an 8.6% greater chance of you contracting lung disease. They've even collated the data by number, but the minister says there is no correlation. In fact, the correlation is there in hard numbers. That's been given out in not just this one study, but multiple other studies as well. Let me now open this up to our guests. And frankly, you know, there are two parts to this. One is the fact that the parliament just doesn't seem to have the time to debate this number one issue for residents of the national capital. And number two, I mean, who are we trying to fool by saying there is no link between air pollution and lung-related illnesses or lung illness causing deaths? Niyama Gupta is spokesperson of the Delhi BJP. Brijesh Karlappa is spokesperson of the Congress Party. He's joining us. Ma'am, where do I even start? I mean, first of all, you have to acknowledge that the problem needs to be addressed. Our parliamentarians couldn't care. They're throwing up bills and, you know, they don't have time to discuss this most pressing issue. They've now kicked it to the final day of Parliament, and I'm willing to wager a bet I don't think a pollution debate will happen on the final day of Parliament. Number one, that's a question of priority. Second, the Honourable Minister putting out this reply saying no link between rising AQI and lung-related deaths or lung-related illnesses. I mean, come on. Are the people of India fools? Are the people of the national capital fools to believe that?
Right. Good evening. Thank you for having me on your debate. We are very well aware that we are facing a high AQI, and the Delhi government is here working full throttle to reduce the impact of the pollution. I understand what is the sentiment of every Delhiite. I myself am a Delhiite, and I'm not here to politicize this pollution topic. We are, for the first time, I can say with a lot of conviction, taking data-driven decisions, tough measures, and for showing no hesitation to sort of impose curbs to protect public health. And yes, the fight against pollution is happening on ground. As you're aware, today is the 18th. Multiple steps have been incorporated, like 50% work from home, BS6 vehicles only to be allowed in Delhi, PUC compliances, otherwise no fuel to be given. Even like something like to prevent coal, biomass burning, 10,000 electric heaters have been distributed. And, you know, like we are thinking of steps at every level. There are steps which we've been doing since we've come. Even construction and demolition activities are not being committed, and their waste handling and processing infrastructure has been created within 10-kilometer radiuses. Removal of illegal parking.
Ma'am, is anybody actually checking if all of this is happening on ground or not happening? I mean, it's good to pass these notifications, but are we seeing this on the ground? Are you sure no non-BS6 cars are not entering Delhi?
I mean,
are you
yes,
sure that there is
to the
50%
best of
work
our
from
ability, we are
50% work from home, both in government and private offices? Are you really saying that all of this is happening on the ground?
This is not just on paper. The whole purpose of giving these sort of harsh, you know, working 50% from home is not easy. Every team we have deployed from our perspective is to make sure these are enforced to the best of their ability to show results.
Okay.
I mean, just on the 12th of December, the CAQM deployed like something like 19 teams for road inspection drive, which I'm very, very well versed about, adding road sprinkling systems. So over here, what my point to you is that, and we're also working concurrently with Haryana, UP, and Rajasthan, taking measures to improve the situation to a fast speed. So my point here is, I understand the cynicism of every Delhiite, and I'm not.
No, it's not just cynicism. Let's please give me a moment. You may think we are cynical and therefore you can get away with this. Anyway, the season will change. Once the winds come or once it rains, the pollution will go away. Then the people will forget about it. People are not cynical. People are angry. They are dead angry. So, ma'am, please listen to me. Please listen to me.
Yeah, sure. Then
people are dead angry because if there is no anger amongst Delhiites, you wouldn't have seen the video that came out a couple of days ago when Mr. Messi was in the stadium. And I don't want to repeat what the chants were. I mean, those are Delhiites. Those are ordinary people of this city. And that's a reflection of their sentiments. So let's not call it cynicism. There's dead anger, you know, white rage that people of Delhi are feeling right now. So let's not underplay that, please.
Okay, so, you know, you answered my you said it's not cynicism. You said the weather will change, the season will come and go, and there'll be no change. That is a matter of fact cynicism. But their anger of a Delhiite is very well. I'm a Delhiite myself. I have two young kids myself. So I totally concur with what's happening. But I also believe that the system right now we've put into action is going to bring about change. Am I
Okay.
just being optimistic? No.
Let's
I'm being more practical.
let's ask
towards it.
Brajesh. Brajesh, will it happen?
Sure.
Not happen? I mean, Congress Party ruled for 15 years. Aam Aadmi Party ruled for 10 years. Now BJP is there. Kuch hoga ki nahi hoga? Will it happen? Not happen?
See, I'll be very frank, Zaka. And as you know, I was also a Delhiite. I was a Delhiite till 2018. And the reason I left Delhi was because of the air pollution, right? I would feel very enthused the day the Prime Minister spoke on this subject. When Dr. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister, then he would regularly face questions regarding AQI and Delhi pollution and so on and so forth. But I have not heard a single journalist speak to the current Prime Minister for the last 11 years regarding AQI or pollution or so on and so forth. So I think as far as I'm concerned, I have a feeling that this is not going to go anywhere unless the Prime Minister involves himself personally. I have personally seen how a person, a journalist like Sachidanand Murthy, who's a good friend of all of us, and he was in the Week magazine for several years. He developed lung issues and then he shifted to Bangalore and then died a year later, right? So lung issues are an extremely serious problem, and this is happening not just to people we don't know. It's happening to people around us, right? My son studies in Sonipat. I'm very concerned about his well-being. I'm extremely concerned about his well-being. Do I see things going anywhere? No. For this reason that these kind of questions have to be answered by the person on the top, and he's the Prime Minister of India. He's not going to answer these questions, nor are the journalists going to put these questions to him. I'm not trying to make this political. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make this political.
No, I know. But
Because
what about?
I think you touched a raw nerve. That's the reason I'm mentioning the Prime Minister. Otherwise, it's honestly, it doesn't make a difference to me because I'm seated in Bangalore.
Yeah.
It doesn't honestly
The
make
bad
a
air
difference
is.
to me.
I mean, you're not breathing bad air. We are here in Delhi.
Yeah.
No. But
So
tell me,
I'm
what about the minister's reply? Can we put that out? The minister says, where is it? The minister says there is no conclusive connection found between rising AQI and lung-related deaths.
No, I'm only an uneducated, a person with absolutely zero perspective can have made a statement like this. One. Two, and this is not the first time he's made a statement. This is the second time he's made a similar statement. Nobody takes him up. No, there has to be somebody who, catches him by the scruff of his collar. Not literally, but somebody has to ask him a question. But, these questions can't be answered because...
No, by the way, Brajesh, one place where these questions can be asked and should be asked is also Parliament. I don't know why our opposition is not making this the number one issue to be discussed.
Yeah, Zaka, a person no less than Mrs. Sonia Gandhi has spoken about this issue. She has personally said that I'm a Dama patient. Priyanka ji has spoken about this issue. Rahul Gandhi has spoken about this issue. Now, who sets the agenda in Parliament? Rahul Gandhi? Or Sonia Gandhi? Or Priyanka Gandhi? Who sets the agenda? You tell me that. I think your viewers know the answer to that question.
No, the Treasury benches do, absolutely. No. I mean, this is not some rocket science. The Treasury benches decide the agenda. But anyway, so Ms. Gupta, please.
It's not an important issue for them.
So, Ms. Gupta, please tell me, two things. This reply by the minister, I find completely confabulating. I mean, Lancet, which is the world's most reputed medical journal, peer-reviewed hard data, hard science, says that in the year 2022, 17 lakh Indians, 1.7 million Indians died because of exposure to outdoor air pollution. That's a 38% rise over a 5-year period.
Right. So, on behalf of his statement, it's not my place or space to speak about it because I don't represent him in any capacity. But having said that, he has to explain his own reasons for making that statement. But we over here in the Delhi government, I can assure you, we are really working hard to control major factors causing pollution, whether it comes to vehicular dust, biomass burning, and all these measures are being enforced already, seeking the cooperation of the citizens. Because for me, personally speaking, and because I'm seeing day and night the meetings which are happening relating to pollution in Delhi government, They recognize the problem with a lot of intensity, and they're really working hard to ensure that
tell me,
there's
please,
breathable air.
ma'am, with due respect, please tell me, the biggest decision that's been taken so far, I think the one that impacts the most amount of people, is the non-BS6 cars. You're not going to let non-BS6 cars enter
Yeah.
Delhi. Now, first of
Yeah.
all, please tell me, what is the logic of, Delhi registered non-BS6 can continue to fly in Delhi, but UP registered, Haryana registered cannot go in or come out, even though, I mean, you know this, you're a Delhiite. Lakhs of people either live in Delhi and work in Gurgaon, or live in Gurgaon and work in Delhi. Same is the case with Noida. Please tell me the logic of that, number one.
So
Number
see,
one.
I
Number
think
one. Number two. Please hear me out.
I
As
hear you.
per the Delhi government's own study,
Yeah.
37 lakh cars in Delhi, which are under BS5, right? Which are allowed to fly. Polluting cars, certified polluting cars under BS5, as per the Delhi government's own study, 37 lakh such cars are there in Delhi which are flying right now. Nobody's putting a stop to that. But you are
Okay,
targeting cars coming in from UP and Haryana. Please tell me, what is
Are
the
you
logic?
Are you done mocking all the
No,
logics
two
of
questions.
Delhi
I just had
government?
two
Because
questions.
I see from your tenor that you're here mocking any step which is being taken, but that's okay. I'll take it in humor.
Please.
When it comes to the latest, compliant vehicles, BS6, and before criticizing that, vehicular emissions are a major contributor to Delhi's toxic stress, especially when it comes to the winter months. Okay. And what I've understood from the study is that 40% of the particulate pollutions in the NCR were in densely traveled corridors. So the compliance of vehicles with pollution norms have also been made more strict. And after multiple warnings in the last few months, now only vehicles with a valid PUC certificates will be provided the fuel. And also, according to the CAQM, the transport sector contributed to about 40% again to Delhi NCR's ambient air pollution.
We know all that.
Hence, let me
but
finish.
what about
No, I didn't
non-BS6
interrupt
cars
you. Don't interrupt me.
inside Delhi, ma'am? What about non-BS6 cars
So
inside
all
Delhi?
those
They're not polluting?
PUC
They're exempt?
compliances have been made stricter. Okay, so you're controlling, please understand, it's a concurrent thing which is happening simultaneously inside Delhi and in and around
Okay.
Delhi. Okay, so that is where this angle comes into fore. And most importantly,
I leave it to the
I
wisdom
don't
of
think,
Delhiites who
Mr.
are watching
Zaka,
this program,
you
ma'am,
should,
to listen to you and to buy
Then
what
don't
they.
call
no,
me on your debate.
I'm happy to. I'm not sitting here in judgment. Our viewers,
No,
I leave
you're
it to
not
them.
sitting-
No,
you're
I'm
not
not
here
sitting
to
in judgment.
listen.
No, I'm not here sitting in judgment. I leave it to the viewers to sit
Yeah,
and judge
please leave it
what
to
you
your
have said.
viewers.
Yeah, let them decide. Let them
Yeah,
decide.
let them decide.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brajesh, I'll give you the final word. I got to go to the next topic now. Yeah. Brajesh.
Yeah, so Zaka, see, there are as many as 35 thermal power stations in and around Delhi, right? And nearly only 14 of them have the flue gas desulfurization plants, right? So I think this is a very important point which I think the government is not speaking about. And I think this is something which is required to be done. And also the fact that, BJP is now ruling both the MCD, is ruling Delhi, is ruling in the center.
Yeah.
So it's not a, it's not a double engine sarkar, it's a triple engine sarkar. So I think the point is, if they keep giving reasons like this and say that, no, we actually banned the use of tandoors and all this, I think it's actually, pouring salt over wounds. I think they should not do that anymore, because I think,
Can I
like you
just come in
rightly
for a
said, the people are not just angry, they are furious.
Okay,
They
we'll
are
leave it at that.
furious.
Thank you very much. Like I said, I'll leave it to the viewers, I'll leave it to Delhiites to decide what you feel about what's going on in the national capital and the absolute cavalier manner in which that issue has been treated by our politicians, by our parliamentarians. We'll see if the situation improves, the air quality improves at all. I want to move on quickly.